Back?
Yep, it's back up.
Okay, sorry for the slight delay. We had a technical issue. God, I never thought that would happen. Anything I touch breaks. My knee unplugged the router. The story of my life. See me shoot the bucket. Never mind my knee. Okay.
All right, let's see what we got here. All right, I think we're back. We're good.
Oh.
So what do we got here? Any big scores?
Well,
Anybody?
it looks like 2-0, 2-14. The first game might be leading. Let me see here. I see potential 2-14.
Got 6. It's 200.
That's 210. Keith Willard, one of our locals, with a 210. And look across the house. You see anything higher than that for game one? I don't, unless it's down the high end.
No,
Like I said, scores are very low. I think 650 and this thing's an automatic win.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, Brad Angelo can grind out a pretty good one here.
Well, Brad
He gets
Angelo.
it through 30, 240.
Oh, he struck. You see, he figured that lane out on 16. He's been fiddling with his hand. Only the veterans, and I say this respectfully, will use the hand positions a lot more than the younger players who rely more on power and a high, heavy rev rate. And obviously, he's a little softer. He's a little more finesse. I guess you're supposed to do that when you're old, right? I'm sure he'd love hearing I said that, but he shoots 21.75 at the South Point, which that number in my mind, considering what the scores were there, is out of this world. 21.75 to win the Eagle. Fantastic.
Where do you see most people playing? Around the gutter area?
No,
or?
they're all over. They're everywhere from 12 out to about 3. And they're just trying different balls, different lineups. And very speed sensitive. A little too hard, just a little long, a little short, it jumps quick.
Yeah. I'll be right back. I'm going to go do some scores.
Okay. Right now, 210 is the high game after one game, and really a very strong sweeper. We got Eagle winners, PBA champions, PWBA champions, and 210 is high, which is what we figured. The transition now is brutal. Carry down is brutal. And the scores could get ugly. Bill Tessier on lane 18 told me he's averaging 247 in a summer league at Woonsocket or Providence. Was 244 last year. I was talking to Bill earlier today. Did have the high average in Rhode Island for this season. Great bowler from New England. But there'll be no averaging 244 here. Maybe for 14 frames. But that number will not happen on this shot. I think he'd take 204 and be very happy. And tonight's sweeper, our very good friend on lane 19, Gene Gribble. Gene Gribble Trucking. He's a trucker. He added $500 to this sweeper. Bowls 4 leagues a week here. Drives an 18-wheeler over the road. So him and I have had a lot of conversations about driving big rigs. Most of you might not know that I once had 2 of them out on the Pro Bowlers Tour. From 1981 to 1996, I had a couple of big rigs out there, and then when I got off the road, the PBA bought those for me. But there was a time when I drove one, and it was quite a life. Very good life for a young man. Not a good one for an old man. I kept getting older, they kept getting younger, and it was time to leave. Let me check the scores here. Just going to get up a little bit. Well, there's two bowlers that have a chance to go around 210. One at 213, one at 214. They have to strike out. So it's conceivable that 210 will be the high game of 30 bowlers in game one. 30 bowlers, 210, high game. Scores are brutal. Novak had 210. He's unbelievable. He is unbelievable. You know, to watch that swing, you can't teach it, but it's the same every time, and he's as cool as a cucumber. The boy's got ice water in his veins. He knows his game. He knows how to bowl. And regardless of the fact that he's unorthodox, he wins. It's not how, it's how many. Oh boy, that was not good. Ryan Robinson just flagging the 2-8, 173 with a double. And going in the 8th frame, he's clean, and he opens the 9th and 10th. Sayonara, 173. Spares, missed it in the 9th, missed it in the 10th. Got to make them. Well, I love going out on a limb, so I'm going to go out on a limb right now. 30 bowlers, I'm saying nobody breaks 640. I'm saying 635 wins. We'll see how close I am, but it does not look like anyone can figure them out right now. They're brutal. Okay, Angelo does have a chance to take the lead here with a double. So let's see what he does. This was his tough lane. He struggled the whole, said one strike on it. Let's see what happens now. See if he can figure it out. Oops. Not what he wanted, but on this kind of shots, you'll take him. Well, if he strikes here, he's the tournament leader after one game. David Bate with a triple and a double, maybe shooting 180. The mistakes are catastrophic. Tessier sent that one to the right a little bit. It barely hung on for a 5 count. So, as you can see, with Angelo going Brooklyn and Tessier missing the headpin to the right by a foot, they're brutal. That's a great shot by Angelo. Takes the lead. So it looks like anywhere 214 to 217 is the winner. Picking up right where he did last year, just grinding it out, staying close, making the spares. Got lucky in the game. He had 3-9 drops in an 8 count, caught a Brooklyn the first ball in the 10th. So really, he didn't bowl that good a game, but he got a good break. Broke up all his splits, caught a Brooklyn, 217 clean. if he strikes on this ball. They finally split on the filler. Well, if you're going to do it then. 215, great game. 215 clean. Now the leader after one. Oh boy. Tessie got it out again. He got a 5 and a 6 in the 10th for 184. Lost 9 pins and count on 2 balls. So as you can see, they're just impossible. Well, this next group has got a real horse. B.J. Moore out of Greensburg, Pennsylvania. What a wonderful, wonderful young man. And what a talent. My God, I watched him on television in the last couple years, and he did bowl here last year. And boy, I'll tell you what, that's as pure as it gets. Reminds me of a young Rick Steelsmith, very similar before Steelsmith's shoulder got hurt. Had that high back swing, around the same size, 5'7", 5'8", 140 pounds, and just sawed on it. And very similar game. Wonderful, wonderful young man. And Amanda Green getting up now on lane 17. What a beautiful stroke she has. She's fantastic too. 2 young kids trying to make professional bowling their lives. It's wonderful to see. Absolutely wonderful. Oop, flat 10. Low flat gutters here, and kickbacks are not electronic. If you break it late, that 6 will lay in a flat gutter, unless you got a real high rev rate and you can kick it out. But she made a great shot there. She's got to make the spare. Here's the key. Don't miss it. Don't miss the 10. Watch B.J. Moore. Watch this stroke. Oops. Oh, God. Ball hooked out of his hand. Ball hooked out of his hand. Ashton Johnson bowling with him on lane 16. Runs the Office Depot right here in the same parking lot. And there's the same shot that BJ had. The only difference is they had been slashed to 5 into the 10. As Nelson Burton would call it, the reverse blown 5. What a wonderful shot. Let's see if BJ can make this. Come on, hook, hook, hook. No, not one laid there. Yep. Very tough. So we just saw an open on 14, 15, and 18. If someone would please make a spare or a strike. Chucky Burr with the weak 10. Not a bad shot. He's sort of feathering it a little bit. It looks like he's got it figured out. I watched him in practice. He could get in where the lane really hooks and get the ball to push a little, which is strictly hand position surface and obviously rev control and ball speed, all of the above. And they're touchy, but you can get in there and get it to hold if you can really drop your thumb and spin it through the front. There's a little hold there. Whoa, what was that? That ball pushed. A lot of speed there, about 18, 19, yeah, 18 miles an hour off his hand. The ball held. That was interesting. That left-hander looked like me. That's why I retired in '74 and became a bus driver. Cut it off, didn't give it a chance. Story of my life. Yeah, let's see what BJ does here now. He needs to make a good shot. He needs to pure it, get it off his hand, throw it clean. That was better. That hung. Oh, he got a break. Broke down to 245, which is treacherous. Actually is a break. Oh. Ashton Johnson with a double, my buddy. Ashton's one of our local bowlers. Bowls has a storm contract at the local level. We have 5 staff members in the facility here representing Brunswick. Justin Malik, our general manager, and John Eisner's also throwing Brunswick equipments on the Brunswick local staff, and of course BJ Moore with Storm and Roto, Ashton Johnson, Storm Roto, Amanda Green with Columbia Ebonite, and we're so honored and thrilled that the bowling industry has supported the bowlers in this region and all across the world, really. A lot of real good people trying to keep the game going any way they can. Pretty good shot by Cooley. The ball labored. He really threw that ball well, but no break. Oops. Boy, that lane's tricky. It does hook a little more than 15. The boy got it right, and it just jumped off the spot. You see a lot of balls going through the nose or light. It's definitely a Y pattern. Whoa! I got a shot at that. Tim Foy in lane 14, amazing. Fantastic bowler. Again, the two-handers are just taking over. That was a great shot on 17. Bad break. The 5 behind the 7, the head pin in front of it. Could easily been a double. Excellent shot. Tough carry. Great shot by Ashton Johnson. 3 in a row. Not many triples out of the chute here. Let me look. Well, let's see. There's 2 bowlers with doubles. He's the only bowler so far that started with a triple out of 30 bowlers going into lane 2. Game 2, excuse me. Let's see what Chuck Bird does here now. That looks pretty good there. No, it jumps. Yep. 16's got that jump spot, boy. You touch the dry a little slow and see it.
I brought you out here for a reason. What? Oh, man.
Okay, Amanda Green with a strike. Good comeback there. A wonderful young lady. And Let's see what Bird does with this spare. Really critical shot here. He's got to stay clean. Attaboy. Good shot. Got to make those 3-pin clusters. That's like a double. Good shot by Sam Cooley. Ring and 10 over there on lane 18. He's close. He's got the right ball in his hand. He's just got to get it to come off the oil with the right tilt. Looks like the same thing happens on the left. You give it a little too much juice and it just sails by. You slow it down a little bit and you can cross the head pin. Very fair pattern. Again, I don't see anybody running away with this unless something strange happens and there's enough transition where somebody can catch 6, 7 in a row, but right now it certainly doesn't look it.
Yeah, I remember tipping
How we doing, Lich?
We're doing all right there, my buddy, Mr. Meatball. You know, my partner's name is Meatball here, Mr. Malik, and everybody in the industry that's got to know him now never calls him Justin. They call him Meatball. And
that's from Stefano's.
That's from Stefano's restaurant. Look at that. Oh, my God. It's almost a solid 710. That was a pretty good shot, too, I'll tell you. Well, the spare is critical.
Well, 215 was high.
215 was high.
Brad Angelo was
Brad
high.
Angelo, right where he left off.
There was only about 6 deuces.
Yeah, Keith Willard was second with 210.
Brandon Novak had 210 also.
And Brandon Novak had 210. And I have not seen a 4-bagger yet. Has there been a 4-bagger?
Nope, 3's the biggest.
Okay, so we haven't seen a 4-bagger in 16 frames. We have a chance with Ashton Johnson. If he can get a 4-bagger, he wins an all-expense-paid trip to Fairmont, West Virginia. I had to do that. I know. Let's see if Johnson, this is the easy lane of the two. Pretty good shot. No, got a little soft, bit a little early. Got to make the spare. Can't waste a triple. Got to make this spare. That'll keep him close. Great shot by Sam Cooley. You can see him fiddling around with his timing there, trying to get the ball speed right with his footwork. He knows if he gets a little quick or a little soft. He's working on his footwork, working on his release, working on his tilt. Tough shot. Hold it. Got lucky there. All right, on the outside. Spares like a double. Well, Tim forward the messenger. Chuck Burr, soft hand. Looks like the soft hand here has got a chance. You can feather it a little. It'll push. You really got to be soft with it. It's like the more you hit it, the worse off you are. Very touchy. Oh. Broke down to 4, 7, 9, 10. Man, the green, what a stroke. She's great. Throws the ball great. Whoops. Got a little quick. In the ditch. Sam Cooley. Tough spare now. Got to make a good shot. He's going to bowl himself right out of it. Got to make the spare. It's critical. Wow. Terry Tosin. Local bowler throwing hard and straight right up the pipe. Not a lot of tilt. A lot of forward speed. 18-20. Seems like hard and straight or real soft and spin it. Might have a chance. High hit, great shot for Cooley. Got a break. Chucky Bird, a little spin shot. He's got that little soft spin. Interesting. Is that Keith Willard with 4 in a row? Looks like it is. He had 210 the first game. He's bowling pretty good. 57 years old. No grips. Right up the back of the ball. Very short back swing. Very accurate player. Not a high rev rate. Real soft with the hand. I think he's throwing a burgundy hammer. Shined. Weaker cover, weak core. Not a lot of tilt. Novak's amazing. What a touch. He's got 5 spares in a row. Catches a strike. You know, he's always close. Excellent spare shooter. That's the key on this. Got to make the spares. 5 consecutive spares. Finally has a chance for a double. Can have 2 strikes and be plus. That's great bowling. Really is. That game could be a disaster. He could be 60 in the 5th if he started flagging. Tough. Right through the nose. BJ fishing. 81 in the 5th. Not looking good. No strikes. 6 frames. Not a strike. Very tough. Ashton Johnson, great shot. Yeah, 15 is definitely the easier lane of the 2. 16 is treacherous. Boy, this young boy from St. Louis, Kyle Sherman, is it? Oh my God, fantastic. What a stroke this boy's got. I'll tell you what. If that isn't the best game I've seen in a long time, just solid as a rock. You watch him the next time he gets up on lane 13 and 14. He's absolutely pure in every shot. What a fantastic game. Absolutely wonderful. what Novak does here. Oh, he's way in, circling the heads. Oop, little flutter, there it was. I put the kiss of death on him. It really looked good off his hand. It got to the back end and just stood up, fluttered a little, and never made the move. Now he's got to make the 210. It's like Sherman crossing with him right now. Really has a good chance here to take the lead. Nope, didn't get it. Okay, look at that, another 210 on 16. The minute you move in and circle it a bit, it hangs. You go up the lane, an extra board, it hooks. So obviously, these people are really fighting it. All right, let's see what Amanda does here. She had 4 in a row. I made a mistake. They don't have the names up, so I missed it. Let's see where she's playing. Real soft, right up 6-7. Look at this. Boy, can she bowl. Great shot. She's right there. Solid 4. Great touch off her hand. BJ in around 11 on that lane. Oops. A lot of trouble now. Shooting a $160. 7 frames, no strikes. Not good. Tim Foy staying clean. 147 in the 7th. Definitely in good position here if he can strike it out and get 237. That's a monster on this pattern. Has a shot at it. Watch the game. Well, you really can't see it that close, but I'll tell you what, you watch right at the foul line. Watch this boy Sherman throw the ball. Absolutely, absolutely fantastic. Let's see if we can get a good look. You'll see right at his release point, solid as a rock. I mean, deadly. Oops. Johnson pitched it out to the OB zone. Good luck. Let's see what he does here for 5 in a row. It'll be the first 5-bagger of the day. Oh, look at that stroke. Oops. You got a break. Broke down a baby split, double wood. It's all right. 220 on this is like 270. Well, tough spare. Look at that little trick shot he's got on 16, Chuck Burr. Old veteran. Just spinning it through the front. Ball just lays there when it comes off the oil, doesn't jerk to the left. Ripped 3 racks this game from in, all off hits, all strikes. Picked up 2 spares, 2 7 counts, keeping them in the hunt. Let's see what Amanda does here on lane 18. Look at that stroke. Boy, is that pretty. Come on. Ooh, she got lucky. I thought it was going to be a 210. Little hang spot there, but she's all right. Staying clean, shooting 210. She's right in the hunt. That's interesting for Cooley. All of a sudden, it looks like he's got his speed control right. I think that gutter ball woke him up. He did strike on the spare shot and now has thrown 3 in a row. It looks like he's got his speed right. If he can maintain that speed within 0.2 of a mile an hour, he's got a pretty good shot out there off 3-4, going right at him with urethane. They're tricky, but he's good enough to do it. See what Sherman does here. He's got to stay clean. Oops. See, oh, it got back. Oh my God. I cannot believe that ball hooked back on lane 13. It looked like it was a 5 count, missed a head pin, and it flipped off the dry from as far right as anybody's broke it tonight. That ball was on 5 at about 38 feet. Somehow Chuck Burr with another one. Chucky Burr throwing it good. He could be a factor. Looks like Sherman, Burr, definitely in the hunt. Definitely in the hunt.
What's the results for game 1?
Okay, the results so far with game 1 completed is Brad Angelo leading with 215, Brandon Novak and Keith Fuller with 210, BJ Moore 204, Tom Source out of Buffalo with 203, Tim Foy 200, Danny Doyle 200, 7 bowlers out of 30 broke 200. So obviously we don't have a lot of striking. Brian Robinson right here going for a 5-bagger on lane 19. You can't see it, but he's went two-handed. A lot of controversy with him wearing a glove on his left hand. Just shows you where the game has evolved in 50 years. I wore a glove on my left hand. Now the right-handers are wearing gloves on their left hand. And what could be next? I really wonder. I certainly don't blame him. It's legal. And you got to do anything you can to win. And if there's no rule against it, you can't blame him for using it. It's all about rules. Cooley, great shot for the solid 4. Excellent shot. That would have got him right back in the hunt. He had 185 the first game, so that would have got him even going into game 3 if he stayed clean. Oh boy, Robinson got a 6 count. Amazing. 4-bagger, just got it to the right and the thing went 60 feet. Now he's got a very tough spare. The 1-2-7-8, very tricky. You cut it short, you'll miss the head pin. Give it a little too much speed, you might miss it to the right. He's throwing urethane. I don't give him a lot of chance to make this thing. Very tough spare here on lane 19. That would get him right back in the hunt, get him even, within 10 pins of being even. 230 the last game would give him a shot to win. Sherman opened the 10th to go 212. His first game was 160, so he doesn't look too good right now with 372 going in. Oh, Robinson got the 6 off the wall. A lot of opening here in the 10th. Let's see. Oh boy. Ashton Johnson went 5 and 4 on lane 16 the previous time on it, and he just went 5 the next time on it. So his last 3 shots, he's got a 5, a 4, and a 5 on lane 16. And yes, this is actually 10-pin bowling. This is not candle pins, and they're brutal. They're absolutely brutal. The transition now really tightens the back end up if you're to the right of the break point, and if you're to the left of it, it's you missed a head pin instantly left. Go ahead.
Eisner just made the Greek church on 13.
John Eisner just made the Greek church on lane 13, which is a great shot. There's only one problem. He's got 159 and 168, so the Greek church is meaningless, but maybe he'll get a USB-C patch for making the Greek church. Hi, Michelle. One of the girls that runs the slot machines just said hello to me, and I had a heart attack. She's the first woman to talk to me in 4 years, and boy, is she pretty. Oof, I get nervous. Of course, it won't do any good, but like I said, I get nervous. We have 10 slot machines here at the bowling center. They are legal in the state, and I very seldom go in there because I can't win. Even though I work here, I can't cheat. I can't win. I have no chance. Impossible. It's a big shot for Cooley here. You know, if he can double, he can get +1, and that's really good going into the last game. Let's see, pretty good shot. Come on. Just a touch too quick. Looks like he's going to go 205, and he had 185 the first game, so he'll be about 390 going into the third game. Amanda Green with 212 and 192. She'll be 404 going in. Pretty good number there. I'll take 400 going in on this. 230 could get you all the money. Well, this might be a first. When was the last time you watched B.J. Moore go 10 frames without a strike? Going to shoot a $162. His first game was 204, so that's pretty much knocked him out. 10 frames without a strike for a young man that good tells you everything you want to know about this shot. It's called good luck. Cooley with a 203 gets him at 388, keeps him in the hunt. Needs a big last game, 230 or better. Look at that. No strikes for BJ. Unbelievable. Hard to believe. I wouldn't bet on that. Ever. 11 shots, no strikes. I got to bet on him striking once. Even if he kicked it down. Chuck Burr got a chance for 220. His first game was 183. If he gets a strike here, he's 403 going in. He's in the hunt. Great shot. Great shot for Chucky. Clean 220. Those Rhode Island guys are tough. Rhode Island. I bowled so many tournaments there as a kid, and it's amazing. Cranston Bowl and Lang's Bowlerama are still open. I bowled in both those houses as a young man, and they're still there. Amazing how they survive all these years. Great bowling town, great bowling centers. A lot of wonderful memories for me as a young boy. Bowling in Providence and Cranston. Boy, they had some fantastic bowlers back then. Mike Lubera, still alive in his late 80s. What a great bowler he was. Always had a cigarette. If you knew if he was bowling in front of you when you saw ashes on the approach. He had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth for every game he bowled. Amazing. It was ashes everywhere. You did slide well, though. I have to give him credit. B-Rob with a strike. B-Rob's been bowling pretty good two-handed. Let's see. First game he had 173. If he can go 235, he's 408 going in. If he can strike here, he gets right back in the hunt. And if he, right now, it looks like he's got, if he spares, he's got the high game in the sweeper at 225. So he's already got the high game. If he strikes, it's 235 with a chance to win going into game 3. To the nose. That's all right. 2 1/4. Fantastic comeback. So Robinson will be at 398 going in. Definitely a chance. Great game. 224 for B-Rob. Well, we got an interesting last pair here. Watch Greg Young on lane 15 right here. You talk about pure. What a wonderful, wonderful young man. Flew up here today to bowl. Come out of Florida. What a great game. Oh, look at that stroke. Well, that's as pure as it gets. I mean, Greg Young. Did I say Greg Moore? Sorry. It was old age. Greg Young, excuse me. Now there's a veteran on lane 16. my good friend Charlie Gadd, originally out of Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, now lives on the east coast of Florida in the winter. Hangs out over at Ronnie Dixon's Pro Shop, one of the nicest people I ever met in my life. A young man that has a great pro shop, a great reputation on the east coast of Florida, and a great test driver of cars. I had him test drive a car for me in Tucson in '85. He almost blew the thing up. The guy threw us off his lot. Ron decided to do donuts with it. Then he said it wasn't any good because the donuts weren't perfect, but he can drill a hell of a ball. Ron Dixon, living legend in Florida. Oops. That's not what you really want to do. Charlie Wolf on lane 16, pitching it to the hook spot that wasn't there. Gone. See ya. Way deep with his feet, sent it right, it never recovered. Oh, look at that stroke on Kyle Sherman. I'll tell you what. Too bad he got out of the box with 160, but let me tell you, the kid throws it fantastic. Out of St. Louis. Gene Gribble, the gentleman that just struck on lane 15, added $500 to this sweeper. One of our local bowlers has said, yeah, I want to help. Put 500 in the pot, and that's a class act there. Like I said, in the trucking business, carrying a lot of loads on the East Coast, a lot of driving, and loves to bowl 4 leagues a week when he's not driving. Greg Young with a double. We should have the second game totals. I'll read them off. It's going to be exciting this third game. It'll go down to the 10th frame. Of course, tomorrow the big action. Qualifying at 8:30, 12:30, and 4:30. We'll be live streaming all day. Many of these bowlers that you see tonight I'll have in the booth. Can't wait to get Brad Angelo up here and Brandon Novak, our most recent all events winners at the USBC. Amanda about her career, and Kyle, I want to talk to Kyle Sherman out of St. Louis, and definitely Greg Young and Tim Foy, BJ Moore. And we're going to be talking to all of them tomorrow about their games, their plans, what they work on, their staff affiliations, everything that we can pass on to the viewers this weekend. We're going to. Oh boy. Oh, broke it up. Charlie Wolf, what's he got? Not too good. 167 first game. Gary Muir, two-hander on lane 16. Just sawing on it. Works next door at Mylan Pharmaceutical. Right next door, the third largest pharmaceutical supplier in the United States, Mylan. It's right in the same parking lot Suburban Lanes is. We're about a mile from the Mountaineer Football Stadium, Mylan Pushkar Stadium, and a mile and a half from the Coliseum where Jerry West played basketball for West Virginia U. And what a college town this is. 29,000 college students will be here this fall. Many of them bowl here in the evenings. We have 4 restaurants here. #1 sports bar in West Virginia. And our girls in our restaurants are wonderful kids, all going to school here. Very pretty, great waitresses, great food. I eat here every day, and honored to work in this facility. 24-lane facility, and let me tell you what, it hops. It is a jumping joint. That's why I came here. It's not quiet, believe me. Waiting for the two-game scores. We'll give you an update shortly. Chuck Burst starting off with a strike over there on 19. Looks like he's lined up with that soft little spinner through the front. Big shot here for Greg Young. This gets him right in the hunt, I believe. I believe he can strike here. He's over 600. Pretty good. Oh, yeah, that's pure. Oh, yeah, he's got it. What a bowler. Oops. Not good. You know, I got to admire the man. He's only been bowling a couple years. Come out here and bowling on an extremely tough shot. He knew it when he got here. He knows what it is. And said, you know what, I want to go up against the big boys, put up his money. He's going to bowl tomorrow. And the field we have at about 120 bowlers right now, there's some real horses that are going to be bowling. The cream will come to the top on this shot. Can't steal on this. Impossible. Amazing from pair to pair, the difference. B.J. Moore goes 11 frames without a strike on 15 and 16. Goes to 19 and 20 and starts with a double. So it's obvious they're entirely different from pair to pair. And it's either feast or famine. Kind of curious to see what the scores were. Remember, I predicted 635 to take the money, so I should be getting the scores any moment. We'll give you an update. God forbid I hit the number. Oh, is that pure? I'll tell you what. That boy can flat play. Florida should be real proud of him. That's a horse coming off the East Coast there. Fantastic. Of course, there's so many bowlers today coming out of Florida, you know, with what Kegel has done for bowling, especially with the kids from Weber. And I had the wonderful opportunity to work at Kegel for 8 months in 1999, the last 8 months of the year. And I worked at the old training center, which was in Sebring. And of course, the new one went to Lake Wales. And after I had left, Randy Stoughton and Del Warren got in there. And of course, John Davis, such a great mind, such a wonderful, beautiful man. And built that facility. And Stoughton's had some winners with the ladies, and The Weber kids are fantastic with Dell and Randy coaching them. Brent Sims, and those people are the best in the world. I have a CAT system here at Suburban that they helped me, they taught me how to set it up, break it down, and I portabilized it. Was coaching in the Northeast and then went to work here and then put it in on lane 1. Okay, here's the scores, and lo and behold, look at that. Amanda Green leading with 404. Chuck Burr out of Rhode Island, 403. Ryan Patterson, 401. Brett Angelo, 399. Brian Robinson, 397. Greg Young, 397. Tim Foy, 393, is in 7th place. So in essence, 11 pins separate Tim Foy in 7th to Amanda Green, who is leading. However, with Greg Young starting with a 4-bagger and being at 397, he's actually at 626. If he gets a 9 count, he might be well into the lead. We got to see what Amanda's doing. I can't quite see, but it's like I said, I figure it's going to go down in 10th frame. I picked 635, and I could be real high with 404 leading after 2. Sam Coolian with 388. Gene Gribble with 390 got a chance to cash, get some of his own money back. Remember, he came up with 500. It'd be nice to see him get a little of that back. Amazing. You take that swing area out and you load up the front and let it transcend what happens. All of a sudden, the whole world changes. Charlie Gadd fighting for a check at 377, started with a triple, so he'd be 596. Could be close to getting a check. I hope he does. I think Charlie's 72. Still a horse, still loves to bowl, practices a lot. Bowls some PBA senior events. Let's see what Greg Young does here. That looks pretty good off his hand. Look at this. Ooh, the light 4. Well, at 397 with a 5-bagger, he's at 636 with a 9 count. If he strikes 646 plus, it looks like right now he's picking up where he ended last year. He won our last event here. Tough lane conditions today. Yes, sir. Very tough lane conditions today. It's obvious that it's going to go down the wire here, but it looks like Greg Young has definitely taken the lead with 5 in a row here on 15 and 16. Amanda hasn't doubled yet. She's clean after 3 frames. So she's already down 30 pins from leading. And Greg Young is definitely in the lead with 5 frames to go. Yeah, Gene Gribble. Gene Gribble with a double. Trying to stay in the hunt. Get a little of his money back. It looks like the transition as it's pushing down, obviously, is toning down the back end. And it looks like some of these pairs that were erratic I'm starting to tone down a little bit. 19 and 20 has got every bowler on a pair with a double except one. 5 bowlers in 5 frames have doubled, and all 9 drops in between strikes. So it looks like that pair's gotten a little easier. This pair here is also taming down. Charlie Gadd, that ball's just laying right there. And Young, this is a key shot for Young. He's got a bad rack. I don't like this rack at all. Looks like the 3 pins to the right a little bit, and that could be devastating here. A lot of rip 7-10s in this house, so let's see what happens on this shot. This might be the shot of the day for him. This could definitely get him well into the lead. Ooh, he hit that one beautiful. Look at this. Oh, this kid's great. Fantastic. Yeah, the pair definitely tamed down. That lane where he's playing right now, I didn't do that. All of a sudden, that carry down is just getting it to lay right there. Chucky Burr here gets a triple. He moves to second place behind Young, about 30 pins behind him. He was 403 going in. Young was 397. So he'd be about 30 behind if he can strike on this shot right here on 19. Looks pretty good. Oh, solid 8. Great, great, great shot. Unbelievable. Trying to see what Amanda's doing down there on 21 and 2. Can't tell, but I think she's on a double. Attaboy, Gene. That was forgiving. Yeah, this pair here, all of a sudden, you can strike on a little more. And Gribble getting on a hunt for a check, which is great to see. Oh, look at that shot. Is that pure? Oh, how'd you like that, folks? Did you see that? Just a power stroke. Headpin goes to the left board, comes back and rips the 10 out. First 7. He's got a 40-pin lead with 3 frames to go, and I don't see how he could possibly lose. Last year, he shot a 300 in the sweeper. It was the only 300 we had in the tournament, and I think he had it in Game 3 of the sweeper. I'm going to ask him when we're done. But here he is with the first 7 in the last game of this sweeper. And Amanda does not have a double. She just got 7. So, no, she got 9. She left a weak 10. Damn it. Wanted her to strike. But with Greg Young with the first 7 and 397 going in, he's at 656. He's going to run away and hide. There's no one catching him. Pay him the money. And she just missed a 10. So she's in trouble. All right, big shot for Gene Gribble here at 390. He was 3 pins out. Foy's bowling a bad game. And this could get him into cash if he can get a strike here. Love to see one of the locals get in there and get a check in this sweeper. Let's see what he does. Pretty good shot. Looks like it's going to hook early. Yeah, got a little soft. Got it left. No chance. A tough spare now. Angelo's shooting 209, so he'd be about 608. I think Young gets this. It's over. Let's see. He's pured every shot so far. Oh yeah. See ya. Can't stop that. Let me tell you something. That's as good as it gets. Well, now we're going to try to figure out who's going to finish second. And that could be anywhere between Ryan Patterson, Chuck Burr, Angelo, Brian Robinson, Timmy Foy, Sam Cooley if he strikes out. So this is Greg Young's sweeper. It's automatic. Now we got to see who's going to get the second place money.
Long way to go.
And Amanda went back-to-back ringing tens, missed the last one. She should get a check, but I'm sure she's not too happy with missing. Big shot for Charlie Gadd here. He can make a big move right here. It's a pretty good shot. Look at Charlie Gadd. Well, ho, ho, ho. Can bump for 269. That is amazing. Charlie Gadd could get to second. Do we have anything on Facebook that's come in? Any questions, answers?
I haven't seen anything.
Nothing?
No.
What have you been doing?
The brackets.
The brackets?
Trying to get all this stuff organized, you know. I had to enter in all the names and stuff. The first game was a little hectic, so.
Why did you leave me here alone? These people are sick of me.
They're sick of you?
They gotta be. Who could listen to me for an hour?
I don't know. I was watching down there.
Yeah.
You sounded alright.
I did?
At best.
I didn't pick on anybody today. You're not mad at me? You're not mad at me for picking on any of your friends? You usually get me, you know, if I say the wrong thing.
Nope.
I left your friends alone today.
You're good today.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you for the vote of confidence. Thank you.
Today.
I kind of figured I would hear it from you if I
Looks
said the wrong thing.
Looks like scores are starting to go up.
Look at Greg Young. You should see these 8 shots.
pure.
My God. Pure as can be. What a nice kid. Wonderful kid. It's
I
nice
picked him up from the airport. He told me, he said, I slept from the moment I got in the plane
Yeah.
to the moment we landed.
Yeah.
And then he told me, he woke up to the lady and she goes, well, hello there. He said when he went to sleep, there was no one sitting next to him. And when he woke up, there was some lady in his face.
No way. Well, I can tell you right now, it's obviously Greg Young, but for second, it's anybody. Anybody can finish second right now. Anybody. There's about 10 people, 12 people. Charlie Gadd can go from 11th to second this game because he's 23 under, but he's shooting 238, so he's already at 615, and that's good enough for second.
Yeah.
I predicted 635 to win it. So with Greg Young going out for 300, he'll be 690.
Did Jerry tell you who his pick was?
No.
He said Greg Young.
Jerry, our owner, picked Greg Young? Uh-oh, fix.
It's a
We're going to be accused.
It's a fix.
All right, let's see what he does here. This kid's great. He's pured 8 shots. I'll know right off his hand. It's so easy to tell. Everybody's letting him bowl. A lot of courtesy. Look at that. They know what it means. Ooh, that's in a little. Ooh, yeah. See, it had a little push. See it? He got it in a smidge and it pushed. Still a great shot. There's a little carry down there on that lane. It tightened it up a little bit. Now, what's really interesting is, I know this sounds kind of silly, but if Charlie Gadd bumps for 69, he goes 46. And Greg Young is going to be 68. So 2 guys on the same pair the last game who are nowhere near leading go 268, 269.
Charlie Gadd got that one out. He got
Oops!
6.
Oh
5.
God! I put the kiss of death on him.
On both of them.
The minute I said they were bowling good, take a look. One guy with the first 8 forgets how to bowl, and the other guy's been bowling 60 years, misses the head pin. Very good. The kiss of death from Papa Lich. Yes. Nice shot. On the money. Oh, yeah. That's a winner. And nobody can get by him. Well, who's got the spare and 6? This young boy here? Who's this kid here?
Oh, that is Tommy Barna. He's from Ohio.
Tommy Barna. No, he was 336 going in, so well, he might get a check though. If he strikes out, he goes 616. He gets some money. He throws it pretty good, Tommy Barna.
Yeah.
Throws it nice.
See if Charlie can clean up here.
Chuck Burr with a double. That was a big shot for Chucky Burr because he's 403, shooting 215. He goes to 618. Could easily be second place. What's Amanda doing? Did you check?
Let's see.
I can't tell.
She's on lane 21, 22 right now.
Okay.
I believe she could shoot 230 this game.
See, there's some strings all of a sudden. If you notice, 4-bagger here on these lanes. Look at this. Somebody's over here shooting 240. They definitely get easier. What I'm curious about is, with the field tomorrow, if that were to take place, we might be getting fooled. We might have higher scores than we think. Here, look, you got a spare 6-bagger here. You got a man started with the first 8. You got somebody over here shooting, got a chance for 248. Chucky Bird's got a chance for 246. It's obvious they carry down the back end isn't as violent.
Yeah.
The minute these guys see that, they know what to do. It's interesting. So they're tough early and easier late. Well, that'll make for an interesting, 5th game.
Yeah.
Who designed this pattern?
Some hack.
A hack?
Yep. Do you know him?
Yes, he's sitting next to me. I let Brandon choose this pattern because Brandon is the guru of this facility with his layouts and drilling and lane maintenance. So I said, you do it. I'll do the talking. You fool with the machine. I want nothing to do with it. And
watch, Novak's up here on lane 17 to the right.
Yeah.
He shoot 234 this game. What was he at after 2?
Novak.
He can go even, basically.
He can go even,
That's
which
probably
might be a check. He's tough. Greg Young, there's anything here. I don't see anybody going around him. There's just nothing around. No, there's no big strings. That's in a little bit. Wow, beautiful. See, it's pushing. It looks like it's going to go high, and it just lays up there.
Yeah. Ooh, got the 9 out. The 9 out on 17.
Robert Toth, my dear friend from Rhode Island on 13 and 14, owns Old Mountain Lanes at Walnut Hill in Woonsocket. Been in business 50 years. Took the ride over here. Tomorrow he turns 60. Staying here at the Euro Suites with his wife. And just a wonderful man. I had a chance to coach in his facility in New England in 2015 and 14. And so nice to see Robert here. Won a NEBA with John Van Hees. They won the New England doubles, the over and under. He's 59 years old and became a NEBA champion. I think that's absolutely fantastic. 59 years old. Give him a lot of credit. That's great bowling. 267, Greg Young.
He's not going to need the 10 pin anyways.
With 664. 664. That's a lock.
Yeah. I don't see anyone going around.
Who shot 248 over there? Who shot that?
248, I'm not sure. It's on Brandon Novak's pair.
Who shot 48?
Tim Floyd?
Might have been Tim Foy. What's he got?
He's 7 under.
He shot
the cut.
48. He's 645. That might have got him second. 635. That might have got him the second. Oh, wait a minute now. Foy was 393, 48, 641. I think that's a lock second. That is a lock second. How about Ryan Patterson?
Get it out.
Oh, yeah, that's pure. Boy, is he throwing good.
Yeah.
Oof. Strong boy. So Gad's got a chance. If he strikes out here, he goes $5.99. He can get in a cash spot, I think.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
And you're going to strike.
Gary Muir has 2 gutter balls this game on the first ball. And,
3 strikes.
yes, 2 gutter balls. Bill Tesser's got so much hand, he can't lay off it. He can't lay off it. You know, everything just jumps off the and he gets in, swings, and he's all over the lane. Can't soften his hand up enough. Chucky Burr, right there. Got a chance for second. He's 126 in the 6th with a triple, and he was in second place. He's got a chance for second to go around 641. So he needs a double. He needs a strike in the 9th and 10th to get second place.
See the mouse.
Did we lose it again?
No.
Oh. Did I lose any hair doing this show?
I think you grew some.
I don't grow it. Nothing on me grows. Believe me. Anything on Facebook that looks interesting? 300 people wanting to know why I'm doing this. There's got to be something said that was nasty. No? Nothing? Oh my God, I escaped. Let's see.
No. This is my Facebook, but
Oh.
just some likes on the
On a Suburban?
yeah, just some likes on the pictures of the cut.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
Nothing new. Wait till tomorrow
Yeah.
when I really start interviewing. We're going to have a star-studded cast in this booth. Star-studded. Ryan Patterson got a shot. Yes, he does.
04.
It's 401. He can go to 605. That'll be a check. And Chucky Burr,
I think Amanda's
26,
got
36, 40.
90.
Let's see. 3, 9, 90, 23. Needs a strike to finish second. It's a big strike for Chuck Burr on lane 20. It's a $100 ball. Looks pretty good. Nope, hit the oil. Yeah, got a little right. 2 pin. He's going to get third. Don't forget, folks, tomorrow we'll be live streaming starting at 8:30. We'll be live streaming all day, 10 hours. I expect 15 or 20 different guests in the booth, so you won't have to listen to me. And there's going to be some wonderful, great legends we're going to be talking to tomorrow. Naturally, we can't wait to talk to Brad Angelo about his all-events win, which is obviously, other than his PBA title, the greatest win of his life. And, of course, Brandon Novak about what the all-events win did for him a year ago. So we have back-to-back all-events winners here, which is really wonderful. And definitely going to talk to B.J. Moore about his win up in Maine for the Elias Cup. And naturally, Amanda Green, who's got a PWBA title, and her plans here in Morgantown, going to college. What did she say she was taking for a degree at West Virginia?
She's going to law school.
She's going to law school. To be a lawyer?
She already works in a law firm right now.
She works for a law firm?
Yep.
I might need her, so I'm going to be good friends with her because I always need somebody. Anyways, Greg Moore, the champion. $600 start plus brackets. You bet brackets?
Yeah, Greg Young.
Or Greg Young. Why do I keep calling him Greg Moore? I'm ill. I used to know a Greg Moore out of Rochester. That's why. He used to have a pro shop
I'm sure
up
you
there.
know someone in Rochester.
I'm just calling him the name of a man I used to know many years ago. Had a store up there in Rochester.
All right, I'm going to start collecting scores.
Looks like Angelo's shooting 248 here. And that could get him the second if he strikes on this ball. And he did. He got the second place. Brad Angelo, the last game, all of a sudden, the back end simmered down. We had a 267, a 222, a 236, two 248s, a 235. All of a sudden, from having nothing, where 404 is leading after 2 games, 10 people shoot 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people shoot 235 or better. Unbelievable. Well, if that's indicative of tomorrow, well, they definitely got easier. This goes to show you what I know. I thought they'd get tougher, but then again, I'm old and these kids are so great. They just know what to do. Amazing bowlers. Again, we want to thank Gene Gribble Trucking, for adding $500 to our prize fund here. We had 30 bowlers, $54 a man went to the prize fund. It was a $60 entry fee, $6 for lineage, $2 a game for the lineage, and 500 added. So it looks like our prize fund going to be 600 for first, 400 for second, 300 for third, 250 for fourth, 200 for fifth, 175 for sixth, 150 for seventh. Give or take a $5 or $10 bill down at the bottom. That's pretty much where the money's going to be. Tomorrow, there's big money. And we could be paying out Sunday. If we have 160 entries, we will have a $21,000 prize fund with entry fee at $125 a person. So, be a lot of money going out Sunday afternoon. Let's see if I can find Greg Young, get him up here. Hold on one second. Okay, we're going to get Greg Young up here in the booth just to congratulate him, say a few words. Fine young man. Flew in today from Florida, fell asleep on the plane. Woke up when he got to Pittsburgh. And here he is, a winner. And he did win our tournament last July here. Well, it looks like you picked up where you ended. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Very nice last
Snapped
game.
it off by 2.
By 2?
Yeah, Brad Angelo shot 258.
Oh, Brad Angelo had 58.
I think at least.
I think he had 48.
He had 56 or 58.
Angelo had 58, so he went 657. And you went...
Oh, never mind. He was -1.
Yeah, he was -1.
I had 233. Tim Foy went 248. So it's probably going to be you, Brad, Tim, me.
What about Chuck Burr? Chuck Burr had 235. He had 638. Chucky
Yeah,
Burke.
6:30. Okay, so.
So we're close. The last game they opened right up. Amazing what happened here. You got 404 leading, and 9 guys shot over 235 the last game. That's scary. If that's indicative of tomorrow, if they're going to get that easy in games 3, 4, and 5, that's really. What do you think about that?
I don't know. For me, I just kind of figured them out a little better. Like, I started on the gutter because last year the gutter worked really well here, so I was just gonna.
What
My
kind
game
of
plan coming in here is just gonna learn from the sweeper and just hope.
what kind of ball did you throw?
I started with the natural, shot 188. Tried a game 2, didn't work. Then I went to the IQ tour, and that's when I started.
The
shooting.
IQ tour.
Yeah.
If that isn't a mainstay.
Yeah, that's
That and the what was
my
it? The high
go-to.
road. What was the blue ball that Storm made? That's still around. It was the high road.
yeah.
IQ Tour Solid High Road.
Yeah, those 2 balls. My God, they still make them.
It's unbelievable.
How do they go 8 years without being dropped? That's from another world.
The IQ tour is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It just reads everything, doesn't it? It's amazing. So what have you been doing now the last year? Have you been bowling PBA events? What have you been doing?
Well, mainly college. I'm in college 9 months out of the year, but when I'm not there, I bowl as much as I can.
Yeah. Besides majoring in striking, what are you majoring in college?
Psychology.
Psychology. I'm sure you have a vote about my psychology, but then again, we don't want to talk about that. I'm interviewing you. Now, what else you been doing? You bowl tournaments in Florida, or what do you do?
Yeah, there's sweepers all the time in Florida. I've been bowling like 2 to 3 tournaments a week.
Do you ever cross paths with John Rakoski,
I do not.
who won the TAT?
I do not.
The True Amateur Challenge from Naples, John Rakoski, the great John Rakoski.
Not that
Won
I
the TAT for a second time last week out in Vegas, 20,000. You
I
don't
saw
know who
that.
John
No,
is?
I don't.
You don't know who he is? I'm surprised. He's a fantastic bowler, and he's got ice water in his veins. Great player. Who are you bowling with in Florida that's a factor? Any names that I know?
I bowl with Michael Coffey when he was there.
Oh, Michael Coffey. That's the boy that won.
I just won the Eagle at doubles.
He won
with
the
Zach
Eagle.
Torrey.
He won the Eagle. Yes, I've heard of Michael
Exactly.
Coffey.
But
Yes.
he went up to school early, so that ended. But
Do you ever go to Kegel and train?
yeah, I did at the beginning of the summer.
You did. Who coached you, Randy and Dell?
Dell.
Dell did. Del Warren went 1985, drilled 286 balls in my business on the PBA tour. When he retired, I had a nervous breakdown. Every time I tell him when he retired, I lost $15,000 a year.
Yeah.
He's amazing. You know, he's one of the few touring pros to make it out of bowling, stay in it, and become an executive. Ran a ball company. He was a ball designer now, one of the greatest coaches in the world.
Absolutely.
Dear friend of mine. And where were you from again?
Florida, Vieira.
For Vieira. Where's that near again?
It's like 15 minutes from Merritt Island and Melbourne. So,
I got it. Merritt Island. So you bowled at Shore Lanes in your life many
yeah,
times?
Yeah.
And that's where you knew Sandy Finkelstein from
Yeah,
Shore?
that's where I knew Sam.
God bless him. Dear friend. Ran Shore Lanes.
Yeah.
The tour bowl there, I think in 88 and 89, right in there, I believe we were there. I think Justin Romack won there, or Voss. God, it's a while ago. But I remember being there in my late 30s and went over to watch the space shuttle launch, and with 31 seconds to go, it was canceled. It was the end of January,
Wow.
I believe, of 88 or 89. I was very disappointed. We had passes. We went there. And
They build you up for it.
and it didn't take off. Yeah, they had computer problems, but yeah. Well, anyways, thanks for coming in. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank
Great
you for running
bowling.
the tournament.
My pleasure, and thank you and for honoring us and coming back.
Absolutely.
See you
We'll
tomorrow.
miss it.
You're looking good, man.
Thank you.
Take it easy. What a nice young man. Greg Young, solid as a rock. A bowler majoring in psychology. That's kind of unique. I majored in bankruptcies. It's amazing how they've changed. Anyways, I'm going to sign off. We're going to be done now. We're going to sign off the live streaming. We're going to start again tomorrow. And if there's anybody listening out there, thank you so much for tuning us in. And it's been a pleasure. And have a good evening. Thank you. Well, it looks like they want me to stay on a little longer to give you the results. So they're tabulating the results, and we'll Oh, there's Brad Angelo. Let's, nice last game, bro. Come on up here and talk with me for a minute. Maybe somebody in Buffalo will know who you are. Come on over here and sit down, my fine friend. First, so much congratulations on your all events win. Just out of this world.
Thank you, Larry.
And you're still tough. You shot 258 the last game. You tell me about your schools for coaching. You're a horse. So what do you think of the lanes? They got easier the last game? A little carry down, set it up a little?
I think so. There was a lot of urethane going down the lane the last couple, or excuse me, the first couple games.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just matched up to that down lane and used that, what was created down lane.
Yeah.
That pair carried a little bit better than the other pair. I left a couple blower 710s in the second game. So I didn't, Dylan. He got the first one in the 10th. I didn't know. I thought he opened it. Oh, no. Yeah.
So you drove here today, or yesterday?
Drove here yesterday. I got a chance to play Pikewood National.
You played Pikewood National.
With my partner in crime here, my son.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
Nice to meet you. That's your son?
This is my son. He's 16. This is Mr. Lickstein.
How are you?
He's an absolute legend.
I've known your dad. I knew your grandfather, and very well, I might add. And I'm so happy about your all events win because I know I know at your age to have that happen. You know, in your late
at my
40s.
age.
Well, you're young, but to have that happen later in a career is a wonderful accomplishment. How old are you?
I'm 47, but we weren't able to bowl for a long stretch there.
I know that.
You know,
I know there's been they've changed this and changed that. It's kind of hard for me to keep track of it because I don't bowl a lot. But so at 47, you win an Eagle. And other than your PBA win, how many national
Two
so you had two
nationals.
PBAs, and obviously this has got to rank right up there with that.
Sure.
This is
Sure
out of this world.
Well, the other 9 guys that are part of the Bowl U group, they did a magnificent job, and we all stayed the course. And you know, breaking the lanes down is one thing. Keeping them broke down is a whole nother thing.
Yeah, well, you know how to do that.
Well,
I mean, a lot of people have no idea.
All 9 of us, all 10 of us knew how to keep them broken down. People were asking, "Wow, how deep did you get? You know, how deep were you guys in the singles event?" None of us got left to 15.
Whoa. Now let me ask you a question. When you shoot 2175?
Yeah, 76.
What was the low series?
718 in doubles. 718.
And then what were the other two?
724, I think, or 723. I don't know, maybe 720 something in the team event.
Yeah.
And 730 in singles.
Fantastic. Now, it's none of my business, but I have to ask this question.
Sure it is.
And I don't know that they do this because I haven't bowled the USBC in 5 years. Do they still have those super brackets?
They do.
Did you bet them?
Of course.
You bet super brackets. You shot 2175?
Yeah, but they're a luck of the draw. You know, I mean, I have a 212 game or something in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depending on who you catch.
Yeah.
You know, you get the wrong draw, 212, and they don't have that many. It's not like they have 50 of them to where the the law of averages takes out.
Yeah. Well, here we got our standings. Of course, it was won by Greg Young with 664, and Brad was right behind him with 657. And what's interesting is there are 2 champions from last year, with Brad winning in June and Greg winning in July, and now he beat you by 7 pins. It looks like you got this.
Yeah, but
place.
I got a sweeper title last year too. So
and
now
you got a sweeper title. It looks like you two guys got this place figured out pretty good, though. It's not an easy house. Like, you know, they got topography issues here, and obviously with a sport shot, you just can't waltz in here and strike. You don't bowl here year round.
It's a shot maker's pattern.
Yes, it is.
I can tell you that. So.
And Timmy Foy was third at 641. Chucky Burr 638. Brian Robinson 630. Brandon Novak 600, and Charlie Gadd sneaked out the last cash with 599. I predicted 635 to win, but then again, I'm old and I'm not too smart.
If I would have got a couple of those, or one of those blower 710s, I would have ran this over, man.
So you played Pikewood.
Oh my God!
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know anything about Pikewood, they don't use carts at Pikewood.
They don't use carts.
And we have a lot of mountains here in West Virginia, and it's a private course owned by a very good friend of ours. It is a showplace course. So how many miles do you think you walked, or how many yards did you walk yesterday? 6,000 yards?
No, we played from the tip, so it was 7,600 just to play. Not to mention from from the green to the next tee.
So 7,600 yards.
So probably about 10,000 yards today.
10,000 yards today at 5,000 in a mile. So you walk 2 miles up and down hills.
No, yards.
Whoa,
30,
wait a minute.
30,000.
You walked
way
6
more.
miles in Bold?
I did.
You're in great shape.
Dude.
They'd have taken me out on a stretcher.
Hey,
if I
listen,
did
I'm
that.
telling you what, I may not look like much on the outside.
You're telling me you walked 6 miles up and down hills and came in here and shot 660?
Up and down those hills, and they were hills. That's not just a hill.
You walked the whole thing. There's no
Walked
carts.
the whole thing.
There's no cart paths.
I rented one of those little push carts.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think throwing it over my shoulder with my back
Yeah,
issues
yeah,
was good.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm pushing it. I had the handles up here and the wheels were up there. I had to hold the clubs in on one of the hills because it was so steep.
Oh my God.
The clubs were coming out at me like
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
spears
yeah,
coming out of my
yeah,
bag.
yeah, I hear that. You know, we have guests that we get on that course. You have to be a member. You have to go on with a guest. So obviously you went on with Greg Lorenz, one of our owners. But did the boy play? Did the boy go with you?
He did. He broke 90.
But the boy went?
He did.
Yeah?
He broke 90. He's pretty solid in his own right.
Yeah, yeah.
I shot 83, so I played pretty good.
You shot 83.
83.
Yeah,
Yep.
You're a good golfer,
Yeah,
aren't you?
I get it around. I scrape it a little bit.
Now you still see Tom Baker a lot, your dear friend?
I do not. He's down in North Carolina now,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
he bowls a lot of the PBA 50 stuff. I'm not eligible for that yet.
Yeah. Now I got to ask you a couple things about Buffalo. Is T-Bird still open on Union?
T-Birds, I don't know, but you probably frequented that
Oh,
place
I
when
love
you were in
T-Birds. How about Salvatore's Italian Gardens?
town. That's still open.
Oh, did I love Salvatore's. They still got the white Rolls Royce under
They
glass?
do. They do.
Oh, did I love Salvatore's. How about Chef's downtown?
Yes, they do. Chefs is there.
Chef's is still there.
And the
Boy,
back
did
alley,
I love Buffalo,
The
my
back
God.
alley bar and grill is now open too.
Back Alley Bar and Grill. Boy, I love Chef's. I went there with Tommy
Chef's is
Baker and Joe Hutch many
fantastic.
times
Yep.
in the 70s and 80s. And Salvatore's with Petraglia literally every night when we were in Buffalo. Had to go to Salvatore's and Harry Golden and Pappas and Tita Semez and Weber if he bowled.
The whole deal.
Oh, yeah, what a wonderful memory. Love Buffalo dearly. A lot of friends there. How about Brad Kazuski? You see Brad?
I don't. He works for the Border Patrol now, so he works
He
at
does.
He works. He helps monitor the bridges going across the border there in Niagara Falls and out of Buffalo.
Whoa, how about Dave Gwindon still bowling?
Dave Gwynn is still bowling. He has some back issues, you know, as we all age, and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
those guys,
yeah.
all the wear and tear and all
How
the
about Mike
driving. that we do.
Falerio?
Mike Falero's still around. He's helping. He's managing a bowling center,
He is.
and he still bowls great. He still throws it great
He
too.
through it great. Boy, there's some
All the
horses
guys,
up
John
there.
Masiello.
Oh, Johnny Mass. Oh, yeah.
Carl Kenyon. You remember
I
Carl
know
Kenyon?
Carl Kenyon. You know,
All of those guys.
lot
Jack
of horse-
Jurek,
Jack Jurek. What a bowler. What a wonderful man.
John Zerbinski. We got to
John
bowl against those
Zerbinski and
guys
his wife.
now.
Did his wife just make TV?
His wife just made TV.
Yes,
They are
yes,
both
yes,
John
yes.
and his wife are big into Bowl U now. So I've been working with them and teaching
Great,
them.
great.
So
And
that's
he
a big
didn't he
thing,
win
too.
an All Events title 2 or 3 years
A couple
back?
years ago. Yep. Yes, he did.
So Buffalo takes home, and then 2 years ago he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Well,
2 out
Mike
of 3
Newman.
years.
Mike Newman won it a
Well,
few
Newman.
years back too.
Newman in '93. Would he get 4 Eagles?
4. Only 4.
4 Eagles.
Yep.
If that wasn't the best I ever saw in my life, I'll tell you what. I watched
4
him. I got
Eagles.
chills.
Me too.
I got chills watching.
I used to
that.
hang out with him.
Yeah.
I watched that firsthand year after year. The Vera Papa, the Buddy Russell,
Yeah.
the Super Hoinky,
Yes, yes,
the
yes.
Super Bowl High Roller,
Yes.
the Sweepers, the Ideal Open. The Ideal Open used to have 2-game matches. There in Binghamton area, used to have 2-game matches when you made the cut.
Yeah. He was amazing.
Listen to this, 2-game matches. The guy goes strike 8 spare, and Mike says, "You don't have enough."
That's what he says to him.
He said to him, and he went off the sheet.
Yeah.
300, 300, 600.
It's 300, 300, 600.
But he told him that in
He
the
told
second
him.
frame. He said, "You don't have enough."
Yeah, I was so impressed with him when I saw him as a young boy. I think we all were. I think anybody that bowled knew that, you know, he was a Pete Weber, you know, he was a Holman, you know, he never got to the tour. I believe if he got there, he'd have.
Well, now hold on. He did get to the tour. He bowled one tour stop
he bowled Carroll Air Lanes.
to prove a point.
And he did. He was leading going into the last 8.
And he went 0-8.
He
All
went
of a sudden,
0-8.
it all fell apart. He
It
finished
did- it
6th.
It finished 6th, and I know that.
And then
I was there. I
Yeah.
saw that. It was
Yeah.
1997. I saw him do that.
I have a good one for you. You may not even know this one. The Singapore Open.
No, I don't know anything about Singapore.
Okay, well, this is a good story for Larry to pass on.
Other than they make nice shirts, but go ahead.
The Singapore Open.
Yes.
They used to have a $100,000 prize if you bowled a 300 game.
Yes.
So you bowl 300, you get $100,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so Michael's over there bowling.
Yeah.
He calls me, collect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, he sandbagged a lot, so he probably is better than he looked.
And he says, guess what? I bowled 300. I go, no kidding, you get 100 grand? He goes, yeah. I said, man, Mike, that's awesome. The next day, he calls me. He says, you'll never guess what happened. Mika bowled 300, so he took 50,000. I said, what? It's not the first person? He goes, no, any of the buddy that bowls 300, they split the money.
Yeah.
So he goes, yeah, so Mika gets 50,000. He goes, guess what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm bowling again tomorrow, and I'm going to get another 16,000 back. I'm taking some of my money back. And he went the next day and bowled 300 and got 66,000. He took some of his money back.
Oh, my God.
True story.
He was exciting.
True story.
Flamboyant, a showman, and a talent from another world.
He sure was.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun to watch.
He sure was.
I missed him too. I heard he was a pretty good golfer or working a golf course or something.
I don't know where he's at. Last I heard he was down somewhere, I think in like South Carolina or something, and I don't know, working at a restaurant or working at a golf course or working at a restaurant at a golf course or cart boy or I don't know what it all was, but yeah, he was a decent golfer back in the day too.
Yeah. Well, all right. We're going to talk to you some more tomorrow.
I appreciate
Congratulations.
it.
It's great to talk with you.
Thanks
You're
for
wonderful.
having this
What an
event.
ambassador you are. Great coach.
Oh, man, you're
I love
awesome.
so much about your school that you showed me, and the things you showed me about angles and what you're doing with Rick Benoit and your friends in Buffalo. It's great teaching the kids.
It's really, really a special
Thank you for
thing
doing that with
bowling.
the kids and teaching bowling. We need
Oh,
that.
no, it's not just
We need
kids,
every
though.
veteran to do it.
We need a 70-year-old in our next camp.
Well, I should go. I'll tell stories. I don't know if I can teach them anything, but I got a lot of stories.
Well, you can be the color commentator.
Yeah, I could be a commentator. Great
Appreciate
talking
it.
with you, man.
Thanks, Litchie.
All right. All right, everybody. I'm out of here. We're going to shut this thing down. Have a good evening. Talk to you tomorrow. Would you ask Brandon to shut... Oh, there you are. We're going to shut it down now. I said goodnight to everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.